come naturally to me. I find it hard to follow the argument and follow the narrative through the texts, and generally what happens is it makes me feel really sleepy. Even if I've just read a page, I just feel like I really can't go any further. If I'm reading or I'm writing, what happens is if I am reading a journal paper, for instance, I would read the journal paper, but what I normally do is I map the argument at the bottom of the paper. So I just write keywords that make up the argument. If I'm reading a book, what I normally do then is I map the argument down. Then what happens for that? This helps me stay engaged with the conversation. Then generally what happens after that is I take it into a word processor, and then I synthesize not the text itself, but I synthesize the drawings from here and the map from there, and I synthesize the argument, whether it's a journal paper, and I synthesize that into a Word document, and that keeps my thoughts synthesized. So exploring here and I'm synthesizing here. I think one of the key things that's been really helpful is actually using critical skills. And the critical skills themselves have actually, I read a book about critical skills, and it was really helpful, just even the first chapter. I understood quite quickly from doing the exercises in that book that I was able to actually decode an argument. I've never been able to do that before, and it's a really simple skill to learn, that you have like the premise, you have two things that back up the conclusion, then you have the conclusion in a sentence, and that's how a sentence is formed. And although very basic, it's something that really helped me simplify it, and for me it really helped me then work out how do I analyse a text, and then realising that I had to synthesise that. And then reflection was a big part of getting that together. When dealing with a lot of text, I consider a question first to understand what I'm looking for, or questions. So if I'm defining an area, it's, for example, if I'm defining my subject area that I started with, visual literacy. What is visual literacy? Would be one question. Second question, who are the key people in this area and what do they say about that? So I would define key questions to direct the literature review, and then I would look for books and map it against either them questions, or sometimes if I look for keywords first of all, map the book covers, and the book covers become visual references for me. And then when I'm starting to look into them closely, I would probably just skim read them and just look at the first sentences of every paragraph and work out where do I need to read. Because generally when you go through literature, you don't have to read every single book. You've got to know the knowledge of the field, what's been put forward. So I think understanding and focusing yourself at the start is so important, and then synthesising it in a way that you can understand when you come back to it in a couple of years' time as well.